Hey guys, it's Molly with Soul School Spiritual Guidance and Healing. I'm so glad you guys are here for me today. I've got a reading that wants to come out. With this, it has to do a lot with the Gemini new moon energy. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and dig into that. We got a really rainy day. The internet's down, so I don't have music, but the sound of these big fat tropical raindrops is just it's so soothing to the soul. It's very cleansing, a very cleansing rain right now, okay? And I'm going to share with you guys a couple of thoughts that I had about this rain this morning. There's a song that I realize it comes up a lot with my intuition. Whoever my guides are, I know who my especially musical guides are, okay? They love this song, all right? And they'll bring it up to talk about a very emotional state of being. But one that includes spooky action at a distance, aka quantum entanglement, okay? Because it's Annie Lennox, the Eurythmics, Here Comes the Rain Again. Here comes the rain again. Yeah. The lyrics of that song are really powerful, but the ones that have been repeating in my head is it raining with you? Is it raining with you? Talk to me like lovers do. I miss karaoke so much. Look at this Wheel of Fortune. This is the Alchemical Visions Tarot. It's time to talk. Talk to me like lovers do. Sorry, you guys. I really miss karaoke. So basically, the idea, to me, this song represents a quantum entanglement. And a quantum entanglement is just that thing where they do it with particles, and it happens with people too. They do these in labs, right? It's like quantum physics. They'll take these two particles and put them like next to each other, like let these particles like hang out and bond and like just really be like chilling with each other, right? And let's say they influence the atmosphere of these particles and they're going to respond in a certain way, right? It's just they're vibing, right? These two particles. Take those particles away from each other, take them to other sides of the world, and when you influence the environment of one, or you take action towards like one particle, the other one's going to feel it as well, okay? So that's a quantum entanglement. It's an energetic entanglement. And I feel, for some reason, like there is a vast distance between these two particles. And these particles, we're talking about people, okay? And when I talk about a vast distance, that could be in space or in time. Either somebody who's very far away from you, or you haven't talked to in a really long time. Okay, sorry, I had to fix some things. Let's talk about this some more, okay? Actually, before I get back into it, I don't know if I already said this, so like forgive me if I did. Everything you need to know to book a personal reading is in the information box. It's in the description box below. I got my sliding scale readings up. And also, the reason I didn't get my reading out to you guys yesterday, this Gemini new moon was conjunct my natal moon in Gemini. And I loved the energy I was in. I was just like such a mental flow. And I kept like putting off filming the reading for you guys because I wanted to honor that flow state. It's really like an inner child thing. The more I heal my inner child, the more I realize all she ever really wanted was to be left alone and allowed to be in that flow state, which for me comes through writing, researching, fun stuff like that. I'm a nerd, okay? So the reason I mention that is because there are now resources available for you. Soul School Spiritual is a page on Pinterest where you can see these resources, or you can just go to my website, and there is where it used to say blog, now it says resources. And so I've got some info sheets that I put together for you guys, just on different topics. Crystals and intuition, numbers and tarot, different types of things you might use for smoke cleansing. Just go check it out if you guys are into it. Thank you so much for giving me a second to talk about that. Let's get back into this reading. And this is an important reading, you guys, because you know the channeling that I did last week was like big stuff. Healing the millennia old relationship between dragons and humans, like that's like what? So when they talk to me about these more earthbound issues, understand that this is a divinely guided process, okay? All right? There is an energetic, a cosmic meaning to this quantum entanglement. And it may just be, how do I say, throughout the last several years, I've realized this pattern that if I can get through the work, the inner work, to be able to release a certain limiting belief, a mindset, allow myself to forgive myself or somebody else, whenever there's this tremendous release, what comes in after that is a tremendous blessing, okay? It's like a leveling up of sorts, okay? Like my gifts come online, all right? So, the big cosmic picture behind this reading that we're doing today, because it's about a relationship, all right? There's so much, like I said, these two people are at quite a distance in either time or space, okay? For some of you, this person could be passed on, okay? But I do believe it was somebody that you met in your life in this lifetime, all right? And there's still a tremendous amount of unresolved emotion there, okay? Resolving those emotional cycles is what frees up the space for new energies and new gifts to come in, all right? So I'm just being asked to say that this is important on your path, your individual path to becoming your fully integrated, multidimensional self, all right? Some of you may want to project onto this reading like a happily ever after scenario. But I just want to say it doesn't have to be that way in order for it to be significant, okay? Cosmically significant, all right? So it's time to talk. All that unexpressed emotional energy, and what I feel really happened was that this deposit of energy, this huge reservoir of emotion that still remains in this situation between these two people, resulted from a complete and total breakdown in communication, in clarity. Like, I don't know how to say this. I'm gonna get you to the cards. I pulled out my Bianco Nero, okay? These are the cards that I was envisioning yesterday when I kept putting off the reading and ended up not doing it to honor my flow. These two decks, the Alchemical Visions Tarot and the Bianco Nero, all right? One's black and white, one's very, very, very vivid, colorful, almost surreal. All right, and the Justice card here, this is what's displayed on the box, is very, very basic. She's always a part of the reading when we're using the Bianco Nero Tarot. Something else I've learned about this is this a lot of times, I'm going to confess, I don't know how many readings I've done with the Bianco Nero Tarot where there was one card left in the box. And when I go to put the cards back in the box and I discover the card, there's usually a meaning in that, all right? So today, when I pulled everything out of the box, the card that was stuck, that was left over, was the Chariot, okay? Okay. We're just moving some things out of the way to get the channel open, all right? This represents energies that you're aware of. This is your blind spot. You don't know that there's motion. You're aware of the unresolvedness of this cloud of emotion, right? I feel like the fact that the Communication that needed to happen in order to resolve this has not yet, and there's a reason for that. Because the emotion needed to be taken to the separate corners and processed, okay? Because I feel like these are two people that were very highly projecting onto one another, okay? So it's like each person had to take their part of that conversation, that breakdown, and go to their own separate corners and process that within themselves, right? And I feel like there's one person who really wanted the communication. The communication didn't happen, so what they've had to do is just accept that. Just accept and release. Accept that this communication may never take place. It may never be resolved. I'm just going to have to give myself closure here. Okay? That's the feeling that I'm getting with these cards. Okay? This Chariot represents you not understanding that after who knows how many months or years of stagnation, there is, each person had to balance out their own energy, right? So one person, maybe you, balance out the energy and just release to the best of your ability. This is somebody who has balanced out their energy and now they are in motion because they realize that they did not do the right thing. And when I say the right thing, I don't mean that they didn't make the best choice for themselves, which they didn't. Whatever choice they made, right? This is one person. I feel like this is a person who closed off communication, right? They're looking back at the way that they acted and they're realizing that what they did was not the right thing. It's not the person that they want to be. It's not in alignment with their values. They also realize how much abundance they're missing out on in their own life, okay? It's almost like, man, she is serious. Okay, you guys, I want to tell you, I don't know if you know that I have done mediumship readings in which I channel Jackie Onassis. Do you know what Jackie Onassis's energetic signature is? It's the Justice card, all right? I feel like Jackie O she's just my symbol for the collective consciousness whose job it is to put things in alignment. We can think of it as karma. There's like Kali Ma. Kali is coming through at this time. Whoo, Morgan's in there too. All right. This is a collective. Think of all the gods we would associate with justice, with karma. Okay. That's a collective that's stepping through. And Jacqueline Onassis Kennedy just happens to be like the little pillbox hat and everything. Her little pastels. Oh, she's so adorable. Okay. They're coming through and letting me know that, like, this person who's decided to make a U-turn, so to speak, to go back and address something that they did that they now realize was fully out of alignment with where they want to be. I feel like they turned the whole Chariot around. They're showing me, could you imagine trying to like turn like a cruise ship around, like a yacht, like you know how big those things are? If you had to just pull a Yui in one of those, oh, it would just take forever. But I feel like this person was going in one direction with their life, and it, man, they're showing me the wheels falling off of the Chariot. They were going where their ego, where their will, where their conditioned self was trying to, like their conditioned self, their socially conditioned self, not their authentic self, not their higher self, was guiding their path. And as they're going down this path, like, oh my God, like all the images, they're showing me like the horses have mange, their hooves are infected, the wheels are falling off, there's like stuff falling off of the back. Like this person was heading in a direction, their life was literally falling apart as they were moving in that direction. They've had to make a huge U-turn. And I feel like they're showing me part of the reason why it's taking so long for that U-turn to take place is they're showing me like him having to stop and tend to the horses, him having to stop and pick up some of the things that they left behind, okay? This person who's driving the chariot, which is usually, I interpret as an emperor, right? And there's a realization that there's a lot of what this person left behind that cannot be recovered, okay? But with this Queen of Pentacles reversed here, has to do with the Justice card, it's the as above, so below. They are unable to manifest abundance in their life because their actions are not in alignment with their true self. And they're beginning to realize how much of the things that their heart wanted, that they left behind. And I feel like they're showing me something like falling out of the chariot and then getting run over by the chariot. They didn't just leave things behind through abandonment. They left things behind through, the phrase I get is emotionally violent rejection. This person was so conditioned and habituated. I don't know that that's even a word, but this person had so habitually denied their own true self that they would react almost violently, like emotionally violently in response to anything that resonated with that true self. Okay? This person was rejecting themselves. And now they're starting to realize how much, oh my God, you guys. Oh, I feel like I am in a conversation with God right now as this person with the higher power. And just saying, oh my God, I can't believe how many blessings were handed to me that made my heart sing. And I just pushed them off the chariot and then ran over them on the way. And this was always meant to be. Man, why do you guys have to do that to me? I love you, but why you got to take me back to that space? I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. So there used to be this visualization that I had when I was trying to heal one of my own quantum entanglements. I'm going to get a refill on coffee and tell you about it. Okay, because what I'm seeing here is not the same as what you see on the card. It is, kind of, but let me tell you what this picture is going on, all right? This is a chamber that this person is being held within for healing, okay? If you look at this person, man, you guys, I got a new camera back in like March, and the zoom on this one is poop. It's poop. All right, so you see this person, and you see how there's like a mirror image. This looks like a portal, and sometimes it's a portal. They're letting me know that it has the ability to function as a portal, like between these two people. These are the two people in the quantum entanglement, okay? But right now the portal is closed, and when the portal closes, this person tries to look around and see the other person, but all they can see is their reflection. In other words, I feel like there was divine intervention that sent you to those two corners, okay? To where even if you tried to have the conversation, like it was just energetically no, okay? It's like it's just like a mirror. It used to be a window, and now it's a mirror. You used to be able to see through it and see the other person. But now, every time you look at that other person, what you're really seeing is a reflection of yourself. So that's a big reason why there's a cosmic significance. All relationships are really about a relationship with yourself. All other people are really like a mirror to yourself, right? So let's say these two people, and I've seen this in my mind space before. When I've gone into meditation, to try to heal a quantum entanglement, I was shown this space. And I feel like I could turn it into a two-way mirror to where I could look at the other person and like from my perspective it was a window, but from their perspective it was a mirror, right? And it's almost just like I said before, how each person had their own like cloud of emotion surrounding this situation, and it was the divine, it was our guides that said, for whoever this resonates with, now you guys need to go to your own separate corners and deal with your own shit that you're projecting onto the other person before this conversation can be had. So what they did was they made it impossible for you to talk to that other person and forced you to have those conversations with yourself. That's what this mechanism is, okay? That's what this mechanism that you see in this card, all right? And the Ouroboros is about cycles of regeneration. You have to, how do I say this? Okay, so let's say somebody comes along. This is gonna seem so weird, but it's how it has to come out. You can imagine you're a snake if it helps, okay? Somebody comes along and it's like, hey, you can be a whole brand new person tomorrow. You're gonna have new abilities and new knowledge and new confidence and new energy, and everything about you is going to be new and amazing tomorrow. The only thing is you have to let yourself die tonight. And there's so much resistance to that process, right? Because this is what the Ouroboros does. The Ouroboros makes itself new by consuming its old self, right? So in other words, there's this attachment. There's attachment to this prior point on the timeline that we just could not get over, right? Whoever this person is in this chamber, okay? Something about the old self that this person would not, that you, I, whoever this is, would not release, okay? And then there's this moment where the Ouroboros says, you know what, I'm ready to be a new person. I'm just gonna eat myself, right? Because that's ultimately how transformation happens. Every new journey that you walk, every new chapter that you write is predicated on the one before it. So as much as we can leave experiences in the past, leave old parts of ourselves in the past, we needed to be that part of ourselves in that moment in order to be able to be who we are right now, okay? So there is a lot of, I don't even like that word, but I just keep hearing that there's almost an aspect of inevitability. You're gonna make the change eventually. You just might do some kicking and screaming on the way, okay? Because eventually, they're just showing me a snake like growing so much that it just bursts out of its skin. Okay? So, all of these mechanisms that we see in here are the experiences that your guides have had to, they're showing me like almost like a piece of cloth, and that makes sense because there's so much, water is emotion. Imagine like a really, really wet piece of cloth and putting it through one of those hand crank. I just had the word in my mind. And then the word that tried to come out of my mind was not that word that tried to come out of my mouth. What is it called? It's like it's a ringer. I almost said wiener. I don't know why. Like literally the next word out of my mouth was wiener, and I was like, whoa, 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 cut the feed, cut the feed. Okay, it's a ringer, all right? So imagine you've got like all that emotion in this cloth, and the cloth is being put through this ringer. So in other words, you're taking that same experience and processing it again and again and again until all of the emotion is removed from it, and you can just kind of view it from a different perspective. View it with compassion, view it with detachment, right? View it from a healing state of mind. Okay? But it's so funny because I feel like right now they're at rest and your guides are like, dang, that was a lot of work to keep these ringers going, to keep you processing and processing and processing until you could view this without getting just all caught up in the emotion. Okay? I almost feel like one person was so just like all the emotion, maybe dysregulated emotion, okay, which happens when we don't have a very, when we don't have a healed sacral chakra, okay, because there's a lot of emotional memory down there, and it all has to do with our sense of self, right? Our self-image, how we view ourselves, not how others view ourselves. That's the solar, okay? But it's almost like you have all these experiences out there that have created these patterns of emotion that make you feel like you're small, like you're not worthy, like you're not good enough, like you're not lovable, right? And it's like until you wring that out, your guides are gonna keep turning the crank to put you through the experiences that teach you how to temper your emotions, that teach you how to view your emotions. It's like timeline healing, how to view your emotions from that objective perspective, okay? Because that's when you can begin to transmute it, all right? It's like if you've ever done a soul retrieval, you'll go into meditation and go back to a prior point on your timeline. And just because like we were talking about somebody being really stuck on an old point in their timeline, okay? You go back to an old point in your timeline and you don't live it out as yourself. You experience your past self living that out, right? And what happens is you can see in that what was going on in you emotionally, right? Without judging yourself, without feeling triggered, okay? You can watch it and not take it personally, because you can realize that, you know what, like this situation that needs healed wasn't about me. It wasn't because I'm not worthy of love. It wasn't because I'm not worthy of XYZ. It's because that other person was incapable of, or that other person, you know what I mean? It's objectifying the experience, viewing it without the emotions, seeing it from a different perspective, and then closing that emotional cycle on your own. That's what true closure is about, right? But it's very important that our guides are showing me that you got to keep running it through the ringer. You got to keep bringing that up again and again and again, because every time it triggers you, you're being given the opportunity to transmute some of the emotional energy behind it. Okay? There's so much in this card. So, the fixed signs here show me that this was always something when I heard the word inevitability earlier. It's almost like this leveling up, because remember, whatever happens in this relationship, the real purpose of it is your evolution, okay? You're leveling up. You're unlocking something within yourself because you were able to release an old habit or pattern, right? Whenever you're able to release that old habit or pattern, you're the Ouroboros. You say, I don't want to be that me anymore. I'm ready to be a new one. Let's eat, okay? When that was an inevitability, right? It's just you got to decide. You were the one that was determining how long it took, okay? On the other side of this little mirror portal, the other person was going through the same process. But I feel like their process was to get them to be able to feel emotion. That's the feeling I get. For some of you, one person was like, I don't know how to regulate my emotion. All I can do is feel it, right? Because until you go back and you hold that point on your timeline, every situation that resembles it brings up that pain plus the accumulation of all the other experiences that brought up that emotion, right? I'm getting too far. All right? So, One person learning how to temper their emotions, another person learning that they have them, how to honor them. But both people had to go through that process. And both people had the inevitability of eventually shedding that and stepping into the new self. And at that time, the veil between the two of them is lifted. Now that the transmuting has gone on in the separate corners, these two people can turn, if and when they try to look at the other instead of the mirror, this time they're going to see that it's a piece of glass. They're going to see, or that door is open. It's not like they're showing me just like this big two-sided mirror coming down. Like they couldn't communicate with each other anymore because your guides were like, you need to talk to yourself. Both people. Aha! Stop it! It's the same two people. But they've stepped out of this, I'm going to call this the karma machine. And see how the karma machine is gone. It's just mountains and a beautiful day. Do you see how there's this light trying to shine? God damn it. That's so profound. There's this light trying to shine from behind this karma machine that these two people are stuck in. And it can't shine. So what happens, you've been rung through the ringer enough. If you've transmuted your own karma and ate yourself and became a new snake, they did the same thing. Maybe now these two people can stand there naked because you see here they're naked as well. Trying to be like authentic, but also there's just, see these it's the zodiac symbols, but to me it feels like chakra blockages. These people ready to go, unblocked, enlightened. They're just out there in the sun, the truth that was always trying to shine through upon these two people, but they couldn't see it because you guys, this is literally, they're making me feel like this is some sort of chamber. That this like energetic, it's a mechanism of karma, is what they're telling me. And they're like, this is just what we have to do. This is what, like when we come into this lifetime, we know that's how it works. I'm be like, all right, guys, here's my checklist. These are the things. These are my fixed points on my path, my to-do list in this lifetime. I'm going to go down there. I'm going to forget it. When you try to get me to do it, I'm going to resist. I'm going to hate it. I'm going to not want to do it. And they're like, that's okay. We got the mechanisms we need to put you through those experiences again and again and again until you get it. And you're like, bet. I'll see you on the other side. Let me see what other decks might talk. And then, I feel, okay, let's talk more. I feel like that's a pretty complete message right there. Okay? But this person has realized that doing the same thing that they've always been doing is not getting them any sort of real fulfillment in the world. They're not even able to really like manifest. Yeah, they're not even really able to manifest anything. But they're starting to see the truth of it now. Was because they've created for themselves a world that doesn't resonate with their true self. They've created for themselves a world in which they distance themselves from everything that did give an outlet to their true selves, right? And they understand that abundance, ooh, I like that one. Yes, I like that one too. The Empress is a garden. And the Temperance card is the watering of the garden. This person has discovered where their garden grows. They've discovered what they understand now. Wow, okay. Like a lot about their own emotions, but also about the way that their handling or mishandling of their own emotions prevented the garden. Like, it's like they look back and they're like, ooh, now I understand all those flowers died because I didn't water them. Or I watered them with water that was toxic, it was polluted. The emotion that I gave them was unhealthy. Or I just refused to turn the faucet on. I just refused to see myself as having these emotions. I refused to allow myself to have these emotions. Okay, that's the feeling that I'm getting with the person in the chariot. Okay. This is somebody who is, look, they're the King of Cups now. The King of Water. This is a lot of emotional maturity that this person has gained. A lot. A lot of emotional reflection, right? And they can see, they can see the emotional value and the emotional fulfillment in putting down old ways. But they're also contemplating on their past and understanding that in order to feel victorious in this situation, because this Six of Wands, the victory, is behind him. In other words, the victory is like, ha ha ha, victory's mine. It's in his inner state. Okay? Not ha 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 in a devious way, but like, what he has to face. So this, in order to feel like this internally victorious, they know that they have to face down a Ten of Swords type situation. This could be some very, very, very difficult, painful communication. Damn. And I feel like this person is also maybe dragging their feet just a little. Dragging their feet. Fuck. Because in this scene, what we see is that if they were to have this conversation with you, they know that that is the final sword in the old them. They know that they could be a brand new person tomorrow, but they have to agree to die tonight. And they're still holding on to an old piece of themselves, but they know what is needed. They know what is needed. Fuck. Dragging their feet, feeling defensive, afraid to put that final wand behind them. There's some, right? The wounded warrior, easily triggered. This is a very easily triggered state. And this person is dragging their feet because they know exactly what needs to be done, but they also know that there's some sort of finality to it. Like, if I do this, that is me. That's the new Ouroboros. And the old Ouroboros is dead. And look at, you guys get to see the back of the cards. This is, look at this, High Priestess reversed, Wheel of Fortune reversed, Death reversed. Death. They're putting off. They're like the Ouroboros that's like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Can I just eat myself tomorrow? And then I'll be a new Ouroboros the day after that. Let's do that. This person is putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And that's a normal human reaction to deep transformation. Okay? This Wheel of Fortune, they're trying, it's almost like they've realized what their guides are doing to them, and they're trying to halt the process. And the guides are like, nope, we gotta get this laundry out by the end of the day. It's funny because like that's one of the reasons I have to leave my house today is I got to take my laundry in. And a lot of laundromats here just air dry their clothes, and that's fine. Because if you guys don't know this, like in Mexico, like it's not like I can just go to a coin laundromat. Like I drop my clothes off and then I come pick them up the next day, right? And sometimes it takes a day or two. And I'm like, oh my gosh, but if it's raining out, there are some places that just air dry their laundry. So anyways, I was just contemplating the mechanics of laundry earlier today. And here we have our guides putting us through the cosmic ringer. Okay, but this person, digging those heels in, they're just really, really, really afraid. And now they're giving me that heart, and it is heavy. You guys, this person is so, like, as soon as they decide that they're done being the old Ouroboros, the new Ouroboros is going to be so freaking happy that they're going to be like, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I eat myself a long time ago? But I feel like they went through a transition like this in the past, but they're showing me this chariot going in the wrong direction. Okay? So this person is just really having a hard time putting past experiences behind them. They miss the fuck out of it. They miss this connection. They know that this is supposed to be different. And she's like, we know this too. We know this too. This person may not consciously know that they agreed to go through this process with you, because this is like a very special two-sided karma machine. Not everybody gets one of these, okay? This is like a special feature that not everybody who incarnates on Earth gets to opt into, but both people agree to it before they come into this lifetime. Okay? And the purpose, of course, is to recognize the karma machine for what it is, and then it disappears. Ooh. Do we have anything? Okay. New deck. I'll be right back. Okay, this is fun. I have not heard from Willie in a while. What are you? Stop. Okay, so there's this deck in front of me, and it's already split, but like I noticed that there's this section of cards that's kind of turned to the side. Okay, all right, fine. Who's under there? Who wants to talk? It's another chariot. This is the quantum entanglement. One person's motion is causing, I feel like this person's driving this chariot. This chariot is just sitting there, and all of a sudden something pulls on it, and it's like, wait, where are we going? That's beautiful. So we got the chariot coming up for both of you guys. Let's talk, Mr. Shakespeare. What do you have that wants to come out? Oof. Oof. Okay. Damn. All right. I hear you. I hear you, Mr. Caesar. All right. Can we just stop on the lines? Okay. Like, half of that play is like just lines are flooding into my head. Okay. This person's coming across the ground. Very grounded, very earthy, very practical. They got an idea. They got a plan. They're thinking about a very real world situation. Look at those crossed arms and that sea of emotion. Look at those tigers. Look at that ship. Look at those columns. That's not just like one set of columns. That's two sets of columns. That's the Hierophant. And where'd she go? The high priestess. Because you know what? The justice card doesn't have them in this deck. Boom. Dang. This person's got their intuition. They got their spirit guides. They got a couple of like tigers. These could be like animal guides, energetic guides, dragon guides, right? They got 2 of them. So this guy's like, you know what? It's time to be the new Ouroboros. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to be the new Ouroboros. Let's do this. I'm going to travel across land, cloppity clippity clop. We're going to get shit done. And then they encounter this person, and this person's like, oh, you want to talk? You want to talk now? Because I've transmuted all of this emotion. It no longer drowns me. I command the waves. And I feel like this guy's going to be like, oh. I think it will inspire them. I think it will inspire them. You're going to find out who they are. Ooh. Stop. King of Wands is under all of this, okay? I feel like this is the actions speak louder than words. Response. This person tries to come and be like, I'm so sorry for like being completely and totally emotionally unavailable in a way that might have even been a little bit narcissistic and borderline abusive. And this person's gonna be like, you know what you need is to show me. Actions are going to speak a lot louder than words. But look at what we've got. We have another 6 of Wands. The Knight of Coins upright. So instead of dragging their feet, what is needed is consistent effort in order to get to victory. This person, the receiver, right? Of whoever this chariot is that had to make their U-turn is like, what's really going to show me is consistent effort. Because we have the King of Wands with the Ace of Wands reversed. And the King of Wands is, see how it's got that, like, it's got the words in there. And this is like, we're going to need action. We're going to need action in this situation. But let's say that this person could act consistently with integrity. Remember how this person was going through a lack of abundance, right? It had something to do with them not upholding their own values. This person is upholding his own values. There's this phoenix energy. The phoenix is the Ouroboros. You have to understand the death and rebirth, everything, right? This person if this person can get themselves, their Knight of Pentacles together, commit to consistent action, right? Loyalty, move forward and not backwards. The 6 of Wands happens. Where'd he go? Look at this. It's not just a guy riding on a horse. It's not. It's, look at that same, oh my gosh. Ah. This 6 of Wands is a cosmic 6 of Wands. Do you understand? This unlocks the karma machine. They're literally showing me this whole mechanism just like opening up, folding into itself like a transformer and leaving this scene behind. Then these 3 cards. Judgment, death, the world. Do you see this person? They're no longer bound by the karma machine. This is abundance. This is, okay, this scene populated with the things that can be created, okay? Because this cycle is done. This, you guys, this, look, you know, the world and the Wheel of Fortune have the 4 fixed signs. To me, it just represents a fixed point on your path. Like this, whatever needs healed here was on the checklist that you gave to your guides when you came into this lifetime. It was like, these are my priorities, okay? Don't let me spend half of my life on some other stuff. You know, I eventually got to get around to these things. So the transformation is beautiful. Judgment comes right before the world. That's really beautiful. Okay. And also, we do have in the Chariot of the Alchemical Visions Tarot, that is Julius Caesar. And that King of Wands is Augustus. So if I get a Julius Caesar quote from Shakespeare, I'm just going to geek out about that a little extra. Thank you guys so much for being here. I didn't mean for it to be such a long reading, but you know how it goes. That's that King of Wands. Stop it! Stop it! Like the video if you guys enjoyed it. Thank you, William. Thank you, Mr. Shakespeare. Where'd that go? Remember that person sitting there moping? Usually in the 5 of Cups, the person is staring at the river. And you're like, just turn around, walk away from the river. Your answers aren't there. This person has begun to turn around and walk away from the river, right? This 5 of Cups is the 5 of Hearts, which says here, action is eloquence. Stop standing there moping at like the spilled milk and turn around and get some paper towels. There's no use crying. Just, you can do something. Action is eloquence. You guys, look at this. Remember I said, oh, stop it. And then there's the 2 of Hearts. 2 of Cups underneath. Remember I said this, the message to this King of Wands is basically like, I need to see action and not just words. I need to see you being the thing that you say you're going to be. This is the King of Wands. It says, to be or not to be, that is the question. Are you going to eat yourself and become a new Ouroboros, sir? Or are you not? Okay. This is fun, but I don't always like the message in it. Okay, much ado about nothing though. Those people hated each other, but secretly loved each other. You know that. Is it Benedict and Beatrix? Is it Trix? Beatrix. I don't know. Beatrice. I don't know. By the way, the Emma Thompson, Kenneth Branagh is mwah, everything about it is amazing except for Keanu Reeves, but we're just, you gotta work with what you got. Denzel is amazing in that too. All right, so if you haven't seen this one, watch it. Like, go watch it. Like, it is a very, very accessible Shakespeare. Turn on the subtitles if you're not really into it. But the plot line is so good. It's about these 2 people that, like, hate each other. They're always bickering. And now they're showing me the friends are like the guides. The friends are like the guides. The friends are like, they secretly love each other. Let's do a trick and see if we can get them to fall in love. But the poem that goes with it Sigh no more, lady, sigh no more, but be you blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into, hey, Nonny, Nonny. It is a medieval ditty about transmuting emotion. Sigh no more, lady, sigh no more. But that's not the quote that's on here. The verse that's on here is the one about men being deceivers ever, and I just like, that's not relevant. But the idea that you can convert your sounds of woe into hey Nonny Nonny, which hey Nonny Nonny was just like a way of being like, yeah, things are awesome. Like carefree, fun, right? But it all really does depend on this to be or not to be. That is the question. Action is eloquence, all right? So, interesting story. Drop a comment below if you want to tell me how it resonates with you. But like I said before, I love you lots. Thank you for being here. Happy Gemini new moon to you all.